Hi, I'm Rachel Bailey, and this is another episode of 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, where I'll be giving you effective, if not intuitive, strategies for handling frustrating behavior in a respectful way. So, my job is to help parents figure out why their kids are misbehaving. And I know that when kids are acting bad, it's because they're feeling bad. And sometimes when we get to the core of these feelings, it's because children have low self esteem, or they really don't like themselves that much. Let me assure you that if this is your child, or if you're worried about this happening to your child, low self-esteem does not necessarily come from parents doing something wrong. Often low self-esteem is coming from kids comparing themselves to other kids and falling short. Most kids, when they do this, believe that they do. But whatever the reason that low self-esteem has started, when we recognize that our child doesn't like himself, we as parents probably feel a lot of things. We feel sad or scared or even panicked that his low self-esteem is going to lead to some negative or even self-destructive behavior. So what we might try to do when our child tells us that he doesn't feel as good as everyone else is we might try to use logic and say things like, but look at all these great things you have in your life, or look at all these people who love you, or all these things that you're good at. But that probably doesn't work to change his mind. And that's tip number 1, which is that using logic is not the most effective way of changing someone's feelings, especially when those feelings run deep. Logic and emotions are like 2 different languages. And it's not that we can't speak both, but we need some sort of translation or transition from one to the other. Because think about it, when you're worried and someone tells you all of the reasons you should just chill out, it doesn't make you feel better. Or if you're overwhelmed and someone tries to just fix your problem without hearing what is going on for you, you just get more frustrated. Yet we do these things to our kids all the time. So if we want our kids to think more rationally, we actually have to speak to their emotions first. And you do that by responding to feelings with curiosity questions like, what's it like for you to feel not as good as other people? Or tell me more about why you wonder whether you're smart enough. And at that point, you just listen. You stay with them in their world for a while without trying to convince them or change their minds. Because genuine connection actually helps children move out of the emotional part of their brain so that we can get them into the rational part. And once we're there, we can actually help with self-esteem using what I call a backdoor technique. So it's not about telling children how great they are. It's about helping them see things for themselves. And that is tip number 2, which is once your child is thinking rationally, ask him questions so that he can build confidence using his own solutions. So these questions would be like, what would it be like to feel good enough? Or what is in your control to make something different happen? Of course, your child may say, oh, I don't know. So you can offer suggestions, but make sure those suggestions are really triggers for him to figure things out by himself. So you could ask something like, well, what would happen if you started volunteering? How do you think that might make you feel about yourself? Because when we jump in and fix and solve the problems, we actually support kids' belief that they're not good enough. But when they come up with ideas and solutions and take action for themselves, they feel more secure in their ability to solve problems and handle difficult things. And all of that is necessary for good self-esteem. So those are 2 tips for responding to a child who has low self-esteem. Fill out the form that came with this video to see how these tips apply to your situation. And if you have any questions for 2 tips in 3 minutes, send them my way and I'll answer them for you. I'll see you next time.